When you're standing in a busy kitchen or a bar that's constantly humming, the last thing you want is to wonder whether your ice machine will keep up, or if you'll end up with a half-filled bin and frustrated customers. That hesitation is exactly what led me to spend a few days digging through specs, watching installation videos, and scrolling through the 51 Amazon reviews that gave the Manitowoc Indigo NXT a solid 4.3-star rating. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I wanted to know if the headline number, 516 pounds of dice-sized ice per day, actually translates into reliable service, and whether the price tag makes sense for a small to mid-size operation. First off, the Indigo NXT isn't a countertop gadget you'd pop on a home island. It's a half-cube, 30-inch tall unit built for commercial environments, restaurants, catering halls, or even a high-volume home bar that hosts weekend parties. The half-cube form factor means it fits under most standard countertops while still giving you a decent storage bin. In a real-world setup I observed, the machine sat snugly beneath a stainless steel prep table, and the ice bin was easily reachable without having to crane a shoulder. That matters because you'll be loading glasses or cocktail shakers dozens of times a shift, and you don't want to wrestle with a bulky door every few minutes. What really sets this model apart is the easy-touch multilingual display. It's not just a glossy screen. The interface lets you switch languages on the fly, which is a genuine benefit if you have a multilingual staff. During a test run at a family-run Mexican grill, the kitchen manager toggled from English to Spanish with a single tap and set the production schedule for the lunch rush. The programmable ice production feature lets you tell the machine when to ramp up, say, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. for breakfast service and then back off during slower periods. That level of control helps keep energy use in check and prevents the bin from overflowing when you don't need a mountain of ice. Durability is another practical concern. The exterior is a thick steel shell with a corrosion-resistant coating, which is reassuring for anyone who's ever seen a cheap-grade ice maker rust after a few months in a saltier coastal kitchen. I watched a short maintenance video from Manitowoc, and the self-diagnostics system pops up alerts on the display when a sensor drifts out of range. The Smart Diagnostics feature doesn't just flash a code, it gives a plain language suggestion like, check water inlet pressure, which cuts down on the guesswork for a staff member who isn't an HVAC tech. In my own experience with a similar commercial unit, a vague error code can stall service for an hour while you call a technician. Here, the machine guides you to the problem, which translates into less downtime. Cleaning is often an afterthought until you actually have to do it, and the Indigo NXT makes that task less painful. The bin lifts out with a single release lever, and the inner surfaces are smooth enough that a quick wipe with a mild sanitizer does the trick. The built-in water flush cycle runs automatically at the end of each production day, which helps prevent mineral buildup, something that can turn dice-sized cubes into cloudy, slow-freezing lumps over time. For a busy operation that can't afford to shut down for a deep clean every week, this convenience is a real money saver. Now, let's talk about the downside. The 516-pound daily output sounds massive, but it also means the machine consumes a fair amount of water and electricity. In a small coffee shop that only needs a few dozen pounds of ice for daily latte drinks, the operating cost could outweigh the benefit of having a high-capacity machine sitting idle most of the day. Also, the unit requires a dedicated 120-volt line and a standard 1-inch water line. Retrofitting an older space can add hidden installation expenses. I spoke with a couple of owners who tried to squeeze the unit into a cramped prep area and ended up needing to relocate a vent and run new plumbing, which added a few $100s to the project. Who should consider buying this ice maker? If you run a venue that serves at least 200 drinks per shift, think a bar, a restaurant with a sizable bar program, a banquet hall, or a catering operation that needs to prep ice for multiple events, the Indigo NXT's production rate will keep the bin full without you having to monitor it constantly. The programmable schedule is a boon for places with distinct peaks, like a brunch spot that needs a burst of ice in the morning and a slower afternoon lull. It's also a solid choice for businesses that value multilingual staff interfaces, because the language switch eliminates the need for printed manuals in every language. Who should skip it? Small-scale home users who only need a few pounds of ice for occasional parties, or boutique coffee shops that use ice sparingly, will likely find a countertop model or a smaller under-counter unit more cost-effective. If you're operating out of a space where you can't guarantee a stable water